Today I'm showing you how I perfected a vegan fried chicken recipe without using any oil and using an air fryer. First, let's get into some things that didn't work out so well. So the first time that I made this, I combined the wet and the dry batter. I don't know why. I don't know what I was thinking. So the result was a really bland batter and a funny looking batter. It didn't really crisp up too well. And the color was off, really off. It was too white. I did some tweaks and came up with a final recipe, and the key to this recipe is the marinade. You want to marinate the cauliflower pieces overnight if you can, but minimum 4 hours if you don't have the time. I took 4 cups total of almond milk, split that into 2 bowls, and then added in poultry seasoning into each bowl and covered the cauliflower really well in that and let that sit in the refrigerator. I had some extra cauliflower pieces left over, and that's really just because of the size of the bowls that I used. For the dry batter, I did a Creole seasoning mix. I added some breadcrumbs and 2 cups of flour. Once your cauliflower is marinated, you want to grease your air frying basket really well. So you really want to get in there and make sure all the inside of the basket is completely covered. This prevents the cauliflower from sticking, and it's the only oil that this recipe uses. After the cauliflower has been marinated, it's time to batter it. First, you'll take the marinated cauliflower out of the fridge, and then you can transfer the pieces onto a plate or into a bowl, and then you'll take each piece separately with a pair of tongs and batter them. I double battered mine so it goes wet and then dry and then wet and then dry and then wet again, and then I place it into the basket. I spaced them out and made sure they weren't touching, and I also didn't stack them because I thought they might stick together. Air fryers work by circulating air to extremely high temperatures in order to fry foods without using any oil. Air fryers use 80% less fat than traditional frying, and there's also less waste and easier cleanup. The settings on my air fryer recommended that I cook this for only 15 minutes, but I actually cooked it for 25 minutes and then I turned them after 10 minutes. So this will vary depending on your air fryer. Just check them at least after 10 minutes and you'll get an idea of how fast it's cooking and how crispy you want them to be. And so here's how it turned out. It looks pretty legit. It looks like fried chicken tenders to me. So I took out a little piece and wanted to taste test it. Since I had a couple of failed attempts before this, I knew exactly how I wanted the cauliflower to taste and how I wanted it to feel. So the outside was super crispy, and marinating the cauliflower gave it such a nice flavor and then a really nice texture that actually pulls apart similar to how chicken tenders would. I had a little bit of marinade and flour left over, so I just stored the marinade in a jar, and I'm going to keep that in the fridge. Same for the flour, I put it in a Ziploc, and I'll keep that in the fridge as well for the next time I make this. So as with all fried foods, they're best when they're served immediately, otherwise they lose their crispiness. But if you need to reheat these, or if you just want a little bit of extra crispiness, you can pop them into the air frying basket at the same temperature for 5 minutes. I made this vegan honey mustard to go along with it. I didn't see any other recipes that marinated the cauliflower before attempting this, whether it was in an air fryer or traditional frying. So I really think that this is going to take your vegan fried chicken to the next level. So if you're looking to test this out for the first time or second or third time, definitely try marinating for your next recipe. So that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed. You can check out the recipe in detail at my website, httpvegan.com. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out my other videos. And thank you so much for watching.